Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell you, brother, you can't have one without the other.
Welcome to Kermode Uncut. I want to address a subject which I rarely touch upon here on the blog, and that of course is celebrity news. As you'll know, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have broken up. Brangelina is no more, and the papers have been going nuts about this, discussing how it happened, why it happened, who's responsible, and what are the global implications. My problem is that I really don't have an opinion about this, because frankly I couldn't care less, not because I couldn't care about their work as filmmakers, but because I'm not interested in the personal lives of filmmakers at all. In fact, some years ago, I did a culture show special for BBC Two about Angelina Jolie, and in preparing for it, I had mentioned that I wanted to talk to her about Hackers, which is a great film by Ian Softly, which I really, really liked. It was a breakthrough role for Angelina Jolie. Well, her people said, oh, you want to stay away from that. We don't want you to talk about Hackers. They were very, very sort of defensive about Hackers. I couldn't figure out why, because it's a great film and I knew that she liked it. And only later on that I realised that I know why. They think that I want to talk about Hackers because that's the film on which she met Johnny Lee Miller, to whom she was married. So apparently I wasn't allowed to bring it up. Then, of course, I did the interview with her, and the very first thing she started talking about was Hackers and how it was a great film. She really enjoyed it, and she got to meet Johnny Lee Miller. Sometime later, I did another interview with a sort of celebrity in which I had to sign a form which said that I agreed not to bring up the name of a person of whom I had never heard in case it offended the celebrity that I was interviewing. I mean, literally after the signing of the piece of paper, I had to go away and Google what it was that I was supposed to not be talking about. All it did was flag it up. However, my proudest moment in the I know nothing about film stars' personal lives was when I interviewed the Coen brothers and Frances McDormand. I think it must have been around the time of Fargo. It was an interview for a radio show, and I did it down towards Notting Hill in a hotel. And I was very, very sort of excited about meeting the Coens and meeting Frances McDormand. And I had heard this story that the Coen brothers tend to finish each other's sentences. Now, I knew that they were brothers because they were generally referred to as the Coen brothers. And I did an interview with them in which they did indeed do that very thing that people had talked about of finishing each other's sentences. One person would start, one person would finish. It was like interviewing one person who happened to have two heads, and I thought this was fascinating. Anyway, after I'd interviewed them both and talked about how much I liked the film, got on very well with them, I interviewed Frances McDormand, who was starring in the film, and I said to her, it's a funny thing, isn't it? They really do that thing of finishing each other's sentences. And she said, well, yeah, of course, obviously one of them tends to do it a little less with me. And I said, why is that? And she went, well, because I'm married to him. Not only did I not know she was married to one of the Coen brothers, I also didn't know which one it was. In fact, to this day, I'd probably have to look it up to tell you. I love the Coen brothers' films. I love Frances McDormand's work. I don't care about their personal lives. That's not for film critics.